Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So as promised in my reaction videos on Saturday, here's pretty much everything that we know about every single TV series coming to Disney Plus from Marvel Studios as a part of the MCU. This is also going to be talking about the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special as well. I'm going to throw that in there. I'm going to be talking about the release dates. I'm going to be talking about filming schedules. I'm going to be talking about how long each are. I'm going to talk about each one's creator, if we know them, and also if there's one person that's directing most or all of the episodes, I'll be saying who they are. I'm going to be talking about trailers. I'm going to be talking about things like who's in it and the plot as well. So let's just jump right into it. We don't have all day here. First, let's talk about WandaVision, the first one that's going to be coming out. So WandaVision was first announced at Hall H at San Diego Comic-Con, which happened in summer of last year, 2019, and it was announced then for a spring of 2021 release, originally supposed to be the second released Disney Plus TV series. Earlier this year, right before COVID hit, a new schedule was released in which it was actually pushed forward to late 2020, still after the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but probably around December-ish, maybe bleeding into January of 2021. And when Disney released their updated schedule after COVID had started to hit, it stayed in that spot. And then, even though the Falcon and the Winter Soldier was pushed back to 2021, for a while it seemed like we were still going to get WandaVision in 2020. In fact, Disney Plus even put out a trailer for the rest of their stuff coming out in 2020 back in, I think, October, and it did have WandaVision in it, but seemingly kind of last minute, it ended up getting pushed back, and now the official release date for the first episode is January 15th of next year. Filming for this thing started back in November of 2019, but of course stopped in March due to the pandemic. Now, because this has a smaller cast and smaller sets, and it doesn't have the big explosion-y stuff that the Falcon and the Winter Soldier has, it was able to start picking back up with filming again earlier in July, and it finally ended filming back in the early half of November. There are going to be 6 episodes of WandaVision. It's created by Jack Schaefer and directed by Matt Shakman. The first footage from the show was shown off in the Super Bowl trailer that aired obviously during the Super Bowl in early February of this year. Now, that was not a trailer for WandaVision, it was a trailer for the Disney Plus shows in general, showing off a lot of the footage that they had already shot thus far, and so we got to see some stuff in that. Then the first full trailer was released back in late September during the Emmys. Then some posters were released earlier this month, and finally the second trailer for it was released during this past Investors Day. The cast list for this includes Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda Maximoff, reprising her role from Captain America the Winter Soldier, Avengers Age of Ultron, Captain America Civil War, Avengers Infinity War, and Avengers Endgame. Paul Bettany as Vision, reprising the role from Avengers Age of Ultron, Captain America Civil War, and Avengers Infinity War. Teyonah Parris as Monica Rambeau, who was a character in Captain Marvel, but this is a more grown-up version of the character played by a different actress. Kat Dennings as Darcy Lewis, who was kind of a friend of Jane Foster's in the first 2 Thor movies. We also got Randall Park as Jimmy Woo, reprising his role from Ant-Man and the Wasp, as well as Catherine Hahn as Agnes, and some recurring roles with Jolene Purdy in an undisclosed role, Fred Malamed and Deborah Jo Rupp as neighbors of Wanda and Vision, and Asif Ali in an undisclosed role. Now, if you just watch the trailers, that's pretty much everything that we have in terms of plot for this, but something interesting to note is that it is kind of the first of the main trilogy of Phase 4 of the MCU, which will start with this and then go on with Spider-Man 3, and then finish up with Doctor Strange 2, which will also see the return of Elizabeth Olsen as WandaVision. Next up is the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like WandaVision, it was announced at Hall H last year for a release in fall of 2020. It kind of remained consistent in those schedules, first in the early schedule that was released earlier this year, and then one that came out post-COVID. It was still slated for a fall of 2020 release, but then it kind of quietly disappeared from the schedule. August came, September came, October came, and there was nothing to suggest that it was coming out. And eventually it was just like, okay, this thing isn't coming out until 2021. So filming started in October of 2019, so roughly a month before WandaVision, and stopped in March 2020, but ended up not resuming until September and ended in October. Like WandaVision, it has 6 episodes, which is seemingly kind of the standard for these shows. It was created by Malcolm Spellman and directed by Kari Skogland. The first footage of it was shown in the Super Bowl trailer, and the first trailer for it was released this Investors Day. It stars Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson, aka the Falcon, reprising the role from Captain America the Winter Soldier, Avengers Age of Ultron, Ant-Man, Captain America Civil War, Avengers Infinity War, and Avengers Endgame. Sebastian Stan as Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier, reprising the role from all 3 Captain America movies, Ant-Man, Black Panther, Avengers Infinity War, and Avengers Endgame. Daniel Bruhl as Helmut Zemo, reprising the role from Captain America Civil War. Emily Van Camp as Sharon Carter, reprising the role from Captain America the Winter Soldier and Captain America Civil War. Wyatt Russell as John Walker, aka US Agent. Georges St. Pierre as Georges Batroc, reprising the role from Captain America the Winter Soldier. Aaron Kellyman as part of the Flag Smashers. And Adepero Adoye, Desmond Chiam, Mia Ishikawa, Noah Mills, Carl Lumbly, and Danny Ramirez in undisclosed roles. And the plot is essentially that after Captain America's death in Avengers Endgame, Sam and Bucky are the acting replacements for Steve Rogers, while US Agent is the public replacement. They're faced with a new challenge when Baron Zemo returns, and a group of anarchists called the Flag Smashers rise up. Next is Loki. So Loki was announced at Hall H for a summer 2021 release, but then in the schedule released early this year, because WandaVision was pushed up to a late 2020 release, Loki was also pushed up to a spring of 2021 release, but then it was pushed back to summer of 2021 in the post-COVID schedule. Now at Investor Day, it's been announced that it's going to be released sometime in May of 2021. Filming started in January 2020, stopping in March, and then resumed in September, and is expected to finish up at the end of this month. It could be finishing up as we speak. Heck, it could honestly be done at this point, and we just don't know about it yet. So the first season is 6 episodes, and there has been talk that maybe this will actually be a multi-seasonal show, and that a second season could be in development. Some people have been saying it's confirmed we're getting a second season. I don't think that's true. I don't think there's been even any strong reports that we're getting a second season, just kind of like some bits and bobs here and there suggesting it. It was created by Michael Waldron and directed by Katie Heron. The first clip or 2 of it was shown at the Super Bowl trailer. Keep in mind, it was only filming for a few weeks by the time this trailer came out, so they only had a little bit of footage to show, but they did show some footage in that. And then the first actual trailer was released at Investor Day this year. It stars Tom Hiddleston as Loki, reprising his role from the Thor movies, all the Avengers movies except for Age of Ultron, I think, and I think that's it. And Owen Wilson as Mobius M. Mobius, Gugu Mbatha-Raw as an agent of the Time Variance Authority, and Sophia DiMartino, Sasha Lane, and Wunmi Mosaku in undisclosed roles, with Richard E. Grant in a guest appearance as an alternate universe Loki. Next up is Marvel's What If. Marvel's What If was announced at Hall H last year for a summer 2021 release, and since then, the time that it's been released has been pretty consistent across all the schedules, and it was continually confirmed as summer 2021 this Investor Day, and that's pretty much because it's an animated show, which means that, the virus didn't really shut anything down because they recorded pretty much everything they needed before the virus happened, and even if they did need to record anything else, it wouldn't be that hard to do under lockdown conditions, and everyone could still write and storyboard and animate from their homes. So, production had begun by August 2019. So, in August 2019, it was confirmed that they had already started recording the voices for the show. It was created by A.C. Bradley and directed by Brian Andrews. There was a 10-episode first season, as well as a 10-episode second season in the works. Sources are varied on that. Some people say it's just in development. Other people say that it was picked up for 2 seasons right off the bat, which wouldn't be that surprising. The first trailer for it was released during Investors Day. It stars Jeffrey Wright as the Watcher, who's kind of the guy telling the stories of the multiverse, and it features a ton of people coming back from the MCU to voice their characters, including Michael B. Jordan as Eric Killmonger, Sebastian Stan as Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier, Josh Brolin as Thanos, Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner, aka the Hulk, Tom Hiddleston as Loki, Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury, Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Haley Atwell as Peggy Carter, Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa, aka Black Panther, Karen Gillan as Nebula, Jeremy Renner as Clint Barton, aka Hawkeye, Paul Rudd as Scott Lang, aka Ant-Man, Michael Douglas as Hank Pym, Neil McDonough as Dum Dum Dugan, Dominic Cooper as Howard Stark, Sean Gunn as Kraglin, Natalie Portman as Jane Foster, Taika Waititi as Korg, Toby Jones as Arnim Zola, Digimon Hansu as Korath, Jeff Goldblum as the Grand Master, Michael Rooker as Yondu, and Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark, aka Iron Man. Each episode kind of takes place in an alternate universe where a pivotal moment in the MCU happened very differently, and as I said before, each tale is being told by the Watcher.